Sales copy. Sales copy is text used to influence and persuade your readers to take a specific action, such as clicking a link, downloading a file, subscribing into a list, or purchasing a product. There are 9 components to a sales copy covering different types and subjects. The following split tests are designed to assist you in deciding on the highest converting sales copy for your business. Component number 1 is headlines. Headlines are the very first element your subscribers see when viewing your sales copy. This important position means that your headline must be as interesting and spot on as possible. The best headlines are ones which give the purest, most direct representation of your product. Take, for example, these 4 headlines. As we can see, of all the headlines, the pitch, "Create a web page for your business," gets the highest conversion rate at 40%, which gives 90% improvement over the original. The reason is this pitch gives exactly what the customers want, while also highlighting the product's main feature. Proven converting headlines. Sometimes we may get tempted to get creative with our headlines using wordplay or puns, but it's proven that regular fill-in-the-blank headlines outperform these more fancy headlines to the tune of almost 44%. Here are examples. How to blank. Who else wants blank? Question mark. Blank in 3 simple steps! Exclamation mark. Use proven converting headlines. A high conversion rate is good. And the best thing is, you don't need to go far to get good conversions. Using these proven headline strategies is often enough to help boost your open rates. Question marks. Can you believe this? Proof? Question mark. Percentages. 89% of marketers can't be wrong. Add video. 300 plus high quality stock footages. Video. Include a free report. 7 ways to increase conversions. Or regarding. Regarding, watch me build your membership. Use personal pronouns. You need to see this right now. Subject line length. Using shorter headlines may net you higher conversions in certain cases. And when I say short, I mean around 35 characters, like the example given. The headline above greatly illustrates the main feature of the software as a cloud version of a very complex and popular graphics editing tool. However, it's worth mentioning that short headlines don't always convert well because you may risk the headline being too vague if it's too short. Some split tests report that longer headlines have almost 12% higher conversion rates than really short ones. The design. The graphical element of your sales page is a critical but overlooked part by many. As a basic rule, the graphics on your sales page should relate to the content, and your background color should contrast your headline color to make it very clear. This theory is proven with a whopping 230% boost in conversions. Headline B massively outstripped headline A because the background image contrasts the headline, making it very clear, legible, and attractive to read. The next part of a sales copy is a subheadline. As the name suggests, it further supports a headline by providing extra information or further highlights the main benefit of a product. Although you may not really look at subheadlines, this element is still important to many sales letters. And then speed factor. As with headlines, subheadlines benefit from numbers. These further support the headlines in terms of speed. Quote, set up your site in only 60 seconds. Or how minimal the steps are. Grab your own graphics set in just 3 steps. In this split test, it's proven that if you highlight the speed of your product, you can get a 28% increase in your conversions. Being specific. Sometimes your sales copy can see a greater conversion rate if you include a personal touch on the subheadline. In this case, the subheadline mentioned a specific case of a blog post, which grew to almost 10,000 subscribers. When this was tested, the result came back with a 21% increase in conversion. This happens because readers think that this particular subheadline refers to a real story that really happens. This further highlights the importance of telling a story in your sales letter. I highly recommend you do this. Component number 3 is introduction. When you make an introduction to your product in your sales page, you should start establishing credibility by telling a story right away. The reason behind this is you need to establish a problem and show how your product can solve it. And then identifying the problem. The next part after you have established an introduction is to identify the problem that your readers may face. The effective way to do it is by identifying whether your customers are motivated by pain or pleasure points. By identifying these kind of points, you can answer the question, are they qualified for my product? These points have different energies that motivate people to take action differently, so you need to understand what makes your customers tick, and more importantly, what makes your customers buy. When you reach out to the readers of your sales page, touching the main points attracts a prospect's attention and focus on their problems or woes, while pleasure points paints a full picture of how your readers can achieve success when they buy your product. Contrary to the common styles, the more compelling and converting points you can employ is pain. Pain agitates your readers' needs and then opens up opportunities to position your product as the solution to their pain, much like medicine to ailments. Examples of pain points are lack of time or lack of expertise. Component number 4 is a solution to their problems. When you've elaborated on all the problems that your readers may be having, or you've sold the dream to them, they're primed to seek out a solution to the problem or dream. This usually boils down to one obvious answer: a product. When you give your product as a solution to their problem, you're also putting your product into the limelight. Product image. When introducing your products, use images that are consistent with what you're offering to your customers. Professionally done images will see a boost in sales conversions by as much as 145%. Here's a good example. The reason you must use professionally done images is that they make your sales page look credible. It creates trust with your readers and provides a better insight than words. So remember to level up your images so your readers will be more likely to buy from you. My product is the solution. When talking about your product, you want readers to agree that only your product will solve their problems. This is achieved by telling them what your product can offer them and how it can be useful to them. If you can convince them, you will most likely get conversions. Examples are, with your permission, I'd like to introduce blank. Announcing blank. Without further ado, I present to you blank. Component number 5 is features versus benefits. Your readers will always have this question in their heads: what's in it for me? Or I like to say that your customers are tuned in to the station, WIIFM. If your sales copy answers this golden question completely, you have a much higher chance of converting your readers to buyers or loyal followers in the future. I highly recommend you focus on your product's benefits to your readers because it answers the WIIFM question effectively, clearly, and easily. Big companies often list out the benefits of their products to their consumers, so it's high time you did too. Adding a story element. When writing a sales copy, you're also doing another equally important thing: telling a story. So why do I mention stories when you simply want to create a copy that sells? Well, here's the reason. People are easily turned off by straight-up promotional copies, which only try to sell them. Story-driven copy engages and hooks your readers from the beginning to the end. They have these things in common. They're benefit-focused, specific, curiosity-driven, and emotion-oriented. And it has the stats to prove it. Digital Marketer shows that emotion-oriented copy increases conversions by 17.9%. This copy uses humor to provoke an emotional response. It's clever and it makes people laugh. Readers were able to relate to the problem as presented in the advertisement, and the copy left an impression on readers that made the product desirable. Component number 6 is testimonials. Your testimonial page is a platform to tell your readers that this product has real benefits and it's impacted them in a positive way. Testimonials are a strong tool for establishing trust and encouraging potential buyers to take action. Another component you can consider adding into your sales copy is social proof. Why? In building a story-driven copy, social proof shows that this product has given impact to real people who are in similar situations. It serves as real, tangible results that show readers that they can achieve the results as promised by your product. Adding success stories into your order form boosts conversions by up to 33%. Simply slapping testimonials anywhere you want on your page will hurt the flow of the story and will probably make your copy incoherent. So placement is important. Sometimes breaking up testimonials into sections as seen below can increase sales by 64.53%. Visitors can read the testimonials when they're placed above the call to action. However, when grouped together, readers wouldn't have been able to see them if they didn't scroll down the page. Component number 7 is handling objections. In sales copy, you do this by addressing your readers' concerns about your product or service in order to create technical, organizational, or personal buy-in. It's also worth remembering that you're still selling at this stage. Guarantee. So why do so many product vendors give out guarantees to the buyers? Well, guarantees are one of the best and most impactful marketing statements you can make. Guarantees help build customer loyalty and also lead to outstanding feedback. Guarantees like 100% satisfaction guaranteed or it's your money back helps to build trust and build relationships with your potential customers. Another high converting tactic you can employ is to back your offer up with a full 30-day risk-free trial. This implies to your readers that you're a trusted company, trust symbol. This is also a great way to increase conversions with guarantees. If you can replace your guarantee with a trust symbol, it will boost conversions by up to 107%. This is one of the reputation and rapport building elements you can consider putting into your sales copy. The reason is customers want to know that your products are of a premium quality. Trust symbols also prioritize authenticity over low prices, so it's worth showing them. And then bonuses. If you only consider bonuses as an afterthought to your marketing campaigns, you're really leaving money on the table. For example, if you're selling a course on transforming anyone into a highly paid copywriter, for example, why not also include a sales closing script that customers can use while talking to business prospects? This tactic is not without basis. Customers are willing to pay for an offer that hits home with what they're already looking for, rather than a freebie that kind of isn't. Component number 8 is a call to action, of course. After the storytelling, proof presentation, and handling objections, what do you do next? This part is where it gets really direct. You straight away tell your readers to buy your product now. This is achieved by an element called the call to action, or CTA. In this section, I'll share with you several tips on how to convert higher with your CTAs. Button size and color. Your CTA needs to be as clear and strategically placed as possible. The last thing you want is your readers looking for the buy button and having it be tucked away in some obscure location. So here are some tips. Use a larger buy button. It's a proven method to boost conversion rates. This is because a large button makes it more visible. However, I advise against making the button very, very large, as it puts off your readers and makes your copy seem desperate for sales. Color-wise, there's no better color than orange. This is because in color psychology, orange signifies attention and draws your reader's eyes automatically to it. The color also makes your button pop and differentiates it from other elements on your page. Belcher button. I can guess you've looked at many sales pages, of course. You've probably noticed that almost all of them use a very specific type of button. This button is called the Belcher button. So why is this button so prevalent? Well, the creator of the button, Perry Belcher, tested the design element of the button in over 10,000 transactions. The results were amazing. Conversion rates rose by 35 to 320%. So if you're building a sales page, a Belcher button is honestly the way to go. Choice of words. In CTAs, you have a very limited space for words to convince your readers to click on it. It's best to keep your CTAs concise and persuasive. Here are some tips that I'd like to share. Here's a surprise. Changing your to my can make a huge difference, which results in a 90% increase in signups. This is because the word my refers back to the marketer. This signifies that the word represents something really personal and connects well with the reader. Being clear and direct. Your buy button serves one purpose. It's the button readers click to buy. So it needs to be crystal clear. Amazon AWS showed that text-based design CTA buttons increased sales by 49%. CTA buttons that featured a shopping cart with a plus sign did not perform well. The add to cart order button converted the highest number of sales than the rest. This is probably because unclear buttons will only confuse your customers. They don't know what the button's for and are less likely to click on it. Make sure your button is so clear that customers cannot not know what to do. Scarcity. One powerful thing about scarcity is it compels customers to perceive limited quantities as more valuable. So why not create the illusion that if they don't get your product right now, they'll be missing out on a huge opportunity to turn their life around? This tactic works well to reduce the amount of deliberation with your readers and helps them decide faster. The number of calls to action. One CTA is not enough. It's as simple as that. CTAs also strengthen the overall offer of your copy. With this in mind, you need to keep the offer at the top of their mind by positioning your CTAs around the copy. Create more opportunities to convert by breaking up your copy with multiple CTAs. However, as you've probably guessed, too many CTAs can also hurt conversions. The optimum number of CTAs is about 3. Price. After the CTA, there's the element of price for your product. The question is always the same. What price to put on my CTA? Here are some pointers. Prices that end with 5 or 9, for example, $79.99, after the decimal point, convert more sales compared to the rest. This is because the figure seems more real than the round number, like $80. Component number 9, postscript. Did you know that a postscript or PS is the second most important thing after the headline? A PS is very effective because before your readers buy your product, they usually have a final line of mental defense which prevents them from making the purchase. And a powerful PS will give them the final push to move forward, break through their own psychological barriers, and buy from you. Here are some good examples. I have no idea when I'll pull this from the market, but I do know it won't last forever. If you want it, please don't wait. Click the Add to Cart button now. If you aren't 100% sure this powerful system can work for you, grab this 100% risk-free test drive to get you started. It's impossible to lose here, unless you walk away empty-handed. You're just one click away and a few minutes away from discovering how to make more money than you ever believed possible. And what's more, this isn't going to cost you hundreds to find out if this is for you or not. I'm assuming all of the risk.